We know that mods are one of the ways to enjoy a game and to extend its life. Thankfully for GHPC, mods have been popping up recently, giving players more options to explore and to reimagine. Whether you enjoy some of them or not, you have to admit some of these mods have been very impressive and they will further improve down the road. If you don't know, my name is Fan Fantasy and I cover games like GHPC, and for this video I want to showcase to you some of the mods and some of the new features on the current mods in GHPC. Make sure to check out my previous showcase video, as I've already covered most of the existing features in the last two videos, but in this video I do want to highlight some important updates and some new things. To install these mods, you will need to download Melon Loader to help you launch mods, in which you can watch my previous showcase video. And as a reminder, make sure to check out GitHub for the updates, as these mods are constantly being updated to improve. And you can also check out the official GHPC Discord and the modding forums to see what's new and updated, as well as help and support for these mods. And so let's get started with this showcase. First mod that I want to highlight is the manual loading mod by Atlas. Pretty much self-explanatory, as this mod will disable auto loading, which makes more sense if you're playing as the Pack in one of the T-series tanks, as it was normal for the crew to press a button for the next round in the auto loader. And if you're familiar with Steel Beast, this is a feature integrated with the T-72 series tanks. How it works is that you will need to press your round type to load up the next round. So for example, if you need to load up the heat, then you press 2. And then once you fire, you can press 1 to load up an AP round. This mod also works for US NATO tanks and tanks like the T-55 and T-62. And so with this mod, always remember to reload your next round after you fire. Another cool mod that changes your gameplay is the Random Night Battles by Atlas again. This mod will change instant action missions, even the ones that don't have an option to change to night, and also campaign missions. You can also configure the probability of night missions through the Melon Loader config file. Night battles on certain missions will definitely make things different or difficult depending on who you're playing as. But if you want some change, then do consider having this mod on your list for an extra challenge. Next, we have the T-80BV 1990 variant by the Swiss Admiral. This mod brings the current T-80B to the 90s variant, which is equipped with the 3BM42 armor-piercing rounds and the VK29 heat rounds. This variant allows you to fire the 9M128 Agona ATGM missiles. Basically, this is a much improved version of the T-80B, and more features are going to be added, such as better hull armor, better engines, and maybe even the T-80BV upgrade, but we'll have to see. Next on the list is the T-55M mod by Swiss Admiral. The T-55M improves on the T-55A with more features, and it's also used by the East Germans. The M variant does add a bit more survivability and an improved fire control system. It features a basic laser rangefinder, a stronger engine for speed and movement, and a gun-launched anti-tank missile, known as the 9M117 Bastion. It uses the 3BM25 armor-piercing rounds. As you can see here, Swiss Admiral has added the BDD applique armor, which gives the T-55 a new look. But overall, you can expect the T-55M to be a significant improvement over the T-55As. And so if you want more of a realistic mod, then the T-55M is a mod that you should consider on your list. We also got some updates for the Yugoslavia Pack by Swiss Admiral. In the past, I've covered the M84A, which is an improved T-72, and the Yugoslavian BVP M80A infantry fighting vehicle, which replaces the BMP-2. But in this update, he made some changes to the models that are similar to the real-world models instead of the default-looking T-72s in GHPC. With this latest update, the Yugoslavian vehicle mod comes with the M1A1 Vihor, which means whirlwind. It was an experimental tank project in the late 80s and early 90s in hopes of replacing the aging T-55s and the M84 variants. The M91 comes with an improved armor over the M84s, and it has a 1200 horsepower engine capable of going up to 75 kilometers. In terms of its weapons and fire control systems, it's equipped with the 125mm 2A46M smoothbore gun, which is the same as the T-72s and the T-64s. And in the real world, the tank has thermals, a laser rangefinder, 3rd generation night vision, and a laser warning receiver. In GHPC, you can use the thermals and laser rangefinder from this mod. In terms of its shells and firepower, it lands somewhere between the 3BM32 and 42, as they have came up with their own rounds. Unfortunately, the M91 never came to realization as a result of the Yugoslav war, but thanks to Swiss Admiral, the M91 is available to play. Definitely recommend checking out the Yugoslavian vehicle mod if you want a unique pack to play against or to play as. There's also Yugoslavian liveries made by Bakuro that you can also use. And for the pack, we also got the packed lethality mod, which I've covered a few times before, and of course some of these features are mostly fictional, but there are some new features that have been added. The Jaws active protection system has been added and available for the T-55, T-62, and the T-64A. This Soviet-made active protection system can intercept rounds where the turret is facing towards. And so if you want extra protection for your weaker tanks, then consider adding the APS on these tanks. This mod is highly customizable, going through the melon config file and just changing or removing what you want or don't want. Atlas has also added the BDD applique armor for the T-55 and T-62, which basically transforms these tanks to the T-55M or the T-55AM and the T-62M. Atlas also added the Contact 5 ERA, which is available for the T-72s and also the T-80Bs, at which point you can call it a T-80BV. And there's also thermals for the T-80. The BTR-60 is given a 30mm autocannon, a 6x day sight, and night vision, which, not gonna lie, kind of looks a little bit ridiculous. A lot of new added features which you can check out and read. The point of this mod is to pretty much make the pack a lot more overpowered. But the great thing about this mod is that you can customize what you want or don't want, and the upgrades to it. Now enough with the pack, we also do have some mods and updates for the NATO side. For both the M1A1 Abrams mod by Atlas and Heat Enthusiast, which I've covered in the past videos, add an actual model that replaces the M1A1's 120mm smoothbore gun, which you can toggle on or off on your melon preferences. However, if you want to use skins, you will need to disable the gun model, as the gun model is an external file and the skin will not apply to it. As for Heat Enthusiast's version of the Abrams mod, you can now enable the CITV and convert it to a modern M1A2 SEP, and it comes with the Crow systems, which you can enable. The difference between Atlas's and Heat Enthusiast Abrams amp mod is that the amp version does allow for more customization of the Abrams, such as the ammunition type, and the variants such as the heavy armor, heavy common, and the situational awareness variant. And as you know, the M1A1 Abrams mod was one of the first mods to come up, and it's been updated ever since, so I highly recommend that you check it out. Next up by the Swiss Admiral is the M2A2 Bradley, which is a more modern variant of the Bradley family. The M2A3 Bradley features a TOW-2A missile and the M919 armor-piercing round for the Bradley. Next, I do want to show you some skins and liveries, but first I do want to highlight a very important mod, and that's the Gunner Mod PC Texture Loader by Andrix. This mod is a lifesaver and will make things easier for you. This will allow you to download your favorite skins without going into too much technical stuff, and with this mod you can easily swap your skins. To do so, you need to install the DLL file into your mod folder, run the game at least once, which you should now see a folder called GHPC Texture Loader, and from there download and drag your skins into that folder and enjoy your new skins. As for some of the skins, I want to highlight SCD's new Woodland skin. And building on top of my skin that I made a while back, he added some decals to it, and he's also created a woodland camouflage for the Bradley. You can also check out his desert camouflage for both the Abrams and also the Bradley. And for the Pact, we got more roundels by Bakuro, featuring the Polish Zabra camouflage, which reminds me a lot of the Tiger camouflage before the T-72. And it's also available for the BMP2. In my opinion, this is a pretty awesome looking skin, but let me know your thoughts on it. As you know, he has done various nations for the pack like Czechoslovakia, Poland, and even China, which you can also download in the GHPC mod forums on Discord. And thanks to Andrix and his Gunner Mod PC Texture Loader, you can now easily download and swap these skins. And that's it for this mod showcase video. Most of these mods will allow you to customize and change the upgrades and ammunition, which gives a lot of freedom to the player to choose and play. But I also want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these mods? What is your favorite and why? Or perhaps what are some mods that you want to see? Now I know that some of the GHPC community aren't too fond about mods, and that's okay, and I also agree that the base game is quite a good experience already, and that mods are secondary and an add-on. And personally, I would highly recommend people trying out the base game first. But for the purpose of this video, I just want to highlight what's going on in the community and to give some appreciation to the modders, and mods will only get better over time. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Encourage you to join my Discord if you ever want to connect. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave that like and subscribe, as it will mean a lot to support this channel. And as always, I'll see you in my next video.